Hello Factorio people, welcome back to the broadcast from Space Age XL, where we're going to megabase it. We're planning to megabase. Everything we do is apropos megabasing it. Hope you're all doing alright. This is my second attempt at recording this video because OBS bloody crashed, didn't it? OBS never crashes, but it crashed this time. So, I mean, I was only about 10 minutes in, so it wasn't that much of a waste, but still. If you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe for me, we're on, what is this, episode 17, 18, something like that, so yeah, I really do appreciate sticking with it, you know. Usually when these kind of Let's Play videos get to episode 15, 20, people start to lose interest, and that's fair enough. I'm starting to lose. I'm not really. I'm actually more concerned about how I'm going to keep playing this and then Silksong is coming out. How the hell am I going to do both of those things? I'm just going to have to give, and it's not Factorio, and it's not Richie Marshall, and it's not Silksong, so it's probably going to have to be sleep, isn't it? It's probably going to have to be sleep and personal hygiene. Right. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? Last time we did Glebber, we got some nice tileable Glebber farming stuff sorted. Definitely do not forget to have a system for more seeds than this. And, you know, like a heating tower that burns seeds when there's more than X amount in the logistics network, because if your output machines get full of seeds, the whole system will crash. The whole thing will just break. You're telling me I don't have a single... What? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what happened there. You're telling me I don't have a single heating tower on Glebber? That's good to know. Okay. I've also made some rare portable fission reactors just because I put some quality modules in the uranium fuel cell machine just because, you know, you never know, right? And because these make 10 at a time, and the portable fission reactors only need 4? Is that true? 4, yeah. You only have to get lucky once. You only have to get extremely lucky once. And, you know, you never know. We've got legendary quality unlocked now, and these plus 10%. There's a small chance we might just get some legendary ones eventually. Okay, what we need to do today? We need to go to Fulgora because this scrap thing is going to run out. As soon as this runs out, no more electromagnetic science. None. Which, you know, is not the end of the world, really. But we will need it. We will need it. In future. For a megabase, of course. Pretty rubbish megabase without electromagnetic science. And we're going to attempt this centralized scrap processing train system thing, which on paper sounds quite good. In practice and in praxis, who knows? Who knows? Alright, let's go to Fulgora. Alright, this is the idea. This is the idea. So if we have scrap coming in, this island is pretty okay. It's pretty large. I did another walk around. This one's quite big, but this one was it was right here, right? So I thought I'd use this. If we process scrap here, each one of these grid sections can be a station for the thing that we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 things. And then we'll have a train network that just takes these to where we want them to be. So we'll make electromagnetic science here, and then we can do basically anything else, anywhere else. And then this scrap island here, you know, we'll have the train system, you know, like this, and then we'll have this scrap come in here, and the trains will do this, and then later we can bring in this one and add that to the network, and then there's one all the way up here as well. You can bring that one in, and it should be quite cool. It should be neat at the very least. This can process a decent amount of scrap. Not loads, but a decent amount. How many is this? 40. 40. 200 scrap a second, which is 3.333 repeating, of course, belts. Which if we unload with stack inserters is, you know, this would be 4 belts. Plus we're going to double load it, so it should process a lot of scrap. It should process a lot of scrap. So let's continue with this plan. And, you know, I've not done it like this before. There's a large case to be made for not doing it like this. But I want to try it. You know, you don't know until you try. So let's try. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple idea, really. I'm just waiting on a whole bunch of bulk inserters to be made. So we can squeeze a loading station in here quite easily in between each one of these grid sections. I didn't need to do it in grid sections either, but you know, I have, so. Change the scrap unloading slightly to do the old stack inserter trick, so you attach a chest to a arithmetic combinator, divide everything in the chest by 16, and then send that to your stack inserter as the filter. Because I was finding that if this was just outputting onto the belt, it was outputting very inconsistently, like one of a thing and then a stack of 4 of a thing, and then, you know, just it wasn't very good. Whereas this way, at least, we wait until we've got a full stack of 16 of a thing, which frees up. I mean, eventually, you know, like as more scrap comes in, it will average itself out, and we will still be outputting the same amount as if we weren't doing it like this. But at least, you know, this forces full stacks of things on the belt, and yeah. And so then just simply load priority the station. Once the station is full, we'll send this out this way, and then we'll deal with each individual thing, whether it just goes into a big scrap sorter, or, you know, like, so the steel can be, we've got room here to make the steel into, is this one steel? This is batteries. This one's steel. You know, we'll have room here to sort of like turn the steel into chests, and then we can put the chests in the junk, or something like that. You know, the point is we've got space, and so each one of these is its own thing. We of course don't get like green circuits from this, but if we need green circuits in one of the builds, we'll just send processing units to that section, and the processing units will get scrapped. Yeah. All right. So then let's finish this. Let's finish building this. Let's bulk this out. I'm in a train. I'm in a train. So if you lay it out like this, you can get 2 big mining drills to fill 1 cargo wagon. Because they're such an awkward shape. You can't, like, you could just get 2 in each, I suppose, like this. But then it wouldn't look very symmetrical, right? It would look, because these are 5 wide and the wagons are 6 wide. It wouldn't. I've done it like this. I thought this looked cool, and this will fill up quite quickly. Anyway, Blake Reinhardt was the station name that I got randomly assigned and have copy and pasted. So Blake Reinhardt, if you're watching, congratulations. Alright, so we'll output the scrap. I had a stash of big chests just from over here, you know, like in my scrap processing thing. I just put some quality modules in the steel one and was just holding on to high rarity chests for exactly this kind of situation. Okay. So this will do something. Oh, I don't have a radar over there. I want to show you how quickly the cargo wagons fill up. It's not that quickly, but it's quick enough. And we'll do more levels of mining productivity. So once we've done this last shell range, we'll do more mining productivity. So this is, I mean, I can say the rate calculator has an exact thing for this, so. Uh, 2.5 cargo wagons a minute, so 60 over 2.5 is science hasn't worked out how to process that number, but it's somewhere between 20 and 30 seconds. That's all we know. It is really, that's all we know. Okay. Ideally, we'll keep these networks separate, scrap in and products out. We'll keep these networks completely separate. This will last a long time, 198 million. It's more just the number of trains that we can get in at once that is going to be the issue. It's more the actual amount of scrap that we can mine. We can always add more trains to this, right? If they're queuing up here, it's not a problem. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not worried about that bit of it. Alright, a few extra tweaks to the belts. Double-sided these belts. Do the old 2-lane system here for this. Gear wheels are already full, so now we're sending stuff out to scrap, the actual scrap. It occurred to me, a little bit later than it probably should have done, that even though blue belts is a very, very good iron gear wheel sync, undergrounds are even better. These take 80 iron gear wheels in 2 seconds. These take 10 in 0.5 seconds. And this actually uses less lubricant, if you can believe it. So if we just change all of these to undergrounds instead, the only thing we need to add is exactly this. This is even better than this, because then we just we just add. Have I put you the right way around? This to this, so we use even more. That's quite slow. We can put. Let me do this in a better way than this. That's better. Then you can be an underground there, and then you can. Oh no, because now we need to get the gear wheels in. Yeah, there we go. We'll do that and that. That and that. There we go. Gear wheels, gear wheels. So yeah, so now you're recycling undergrounds instead. So we just change this filter to this filter instead. And then we change this to this instead. There we go. Alright, so that's exactly the same idea as what we had down here for getting rid of... I've demolished it. For getting rid of iron gear wheels. But this gets rid of so many more iron gear wheels. So many more iron gear wheels. Look at it. Can't keep up, in fact. It also uses less lubricant. It uses 75 a second. This is 150. It uses half as much. You can get rid of half of these. So here we were, patting myself on the back for that whole blue belt scrapping system. What a good idea I thought it was. No, underground's the way to go. Use undergrounds to scrap your gear wheels. 80 iron gear wheels these need. Brilliant. Okay. And then just a few things here for stuff that we'll need. You know, I'm not going to bring in rail and ramps and foundations and stuff from Nowvis for this. We're going to need a lot of rail on this planet now, so we may as well automate it, and we can automate it. This is all in a robo network. These are all logistics chests. We can just sort of build a little mall here. It's fine. It's fine. The scrap is completely run out now, so we will have to tear this down at some point. Okay, so now we need to design an electromagnetic science block from just bringing in scrap ingredients. So that will be fun. Right. So all common quality stuff takes 10 electromagnetic plants with productivity modules and beacons to make 1,000 per minute, which needs this many superconductors and this many accumulators. And then we need to make the electrolyte, we need to make the superconductors, we need to make the holmium plates, we need to get electronic circuits from somewhere, and thankfully we can just bring batteries in, and we can bring iron gear wheels in and turn those into iron plates. I'm not too worried about that. It's this I'm worried about. But, you know, we got a decent amount of space here. Power is also a worry because of the amount of modules and beacons I'm using. and I have not done anything on Aquilo in terms of getting processing units and fusion reactors up and running. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We can bring it all in though. We should be able to bring it all in via trains. I realise it's a bit silly. Like, it's all here and then it's just going here. Like, why didn't I just bring the scrap in? And it's fine. It's fine. Don't overthink it. I'm pretty sure it will be a good system. I'm pretty sure it will work. Okay. So yeah. So some little things like now the concrete was going to overflow soon. So we'll do the concrete into hazard concrete, and then we'll put that in the scrap. Same with the steel chest, same with the stone into landfill, steel into steel chests. And yeah. Okay, alright, let's continue with the design work, shall we? Okay, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I only had to add this section here. So this makes everything that we need, and it makes enough of it. Superconductors. Plastic we'll get from scrapping red circuits, which we'll get from scrapping blue circuits, which we will need to do for the green circuits anyway, so I'm not worried about that. Stone we can just bring in. We need a vanishingly small amount of water for the oil, because we need some light oil for this system. We don't need any heavy... No, we do need heavy oil for the electrolyte, yeah, but that's okay. We can make the electrolyte here. This was a surprising amount of this. And it was also a surprising amount of holmium solution. Even, like, double stacked beacons. Is this one doing anything? Oh yeah, it's doing this. But even all of this is still easily going to feed this holmium plate foundry, and this will make 28.5 plates a second, which is still more than twice as what we need. But I will hold it because I probably will use this as my actual holmium plate shipping center as well, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm going to move it. This island is probably a much better idea, and it's also further away, which means that the trains won't look quite so silly. Because otherwise these trains are going to have to come out here and then just go up here and into here. I'm not sure I'm going to get the stations in. Because I think I'm going to need 6 stations. I'm going to need stone, holmium, ice, processing units, gear wheels, batteries. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah, we can just move it and plug it in, I guess. It uses so much power as well. Power is definitely going to be definitely an issue. But it doesn't use that much plastic or copper. Copper we'll get from the copper cables that will come out of recycling red circuits. He says. I'm very confident that this will work without too much hassle. Unloading is thankfully a lot easier. Thankfully. Also, there's some rail foundation versions in the blueprint book. These are chunk aligned. Let me turn chunky chunks on. Is this chunky chunks? Yeah. So these are aligned to the chunk grid, just because obviously that is an easy way to make sure that it's always going to work. Left-hand drive, obviously, don't leave a comment about left-hand drive. Okay, I've heard it all already. And a curve, and I haven't done a T-junction yet, but a T-junction shouldn't be a problem. Should not be a problem. The curve is designed so that the T-junction will just work with that, as we know. It's possible that doing it individual chunks wise is wasteful in terms of foundations, or supports, I should say. Like, if I put a support here and then draw the rail across, obviously I'm using a lot more, but I kind of like how symmetrical this ends up looking, and it does future-proof it to some extent. I believe. Plus, rail foundations are really not that expensive. 10 steel plate, 20 refined concrete. Refined concrete is some steel, some iron sticks, some concrete, some water. All of that we just have infinite amount of from the scrap. I've turned the scrap off just because a lot of things were full. So I've just turned it off just to see. So, yeah, I've added substation pipes, things I was just basically running out of. So yeah, I do think this is a bit wasteful on rail supports, but rail supports they're not expensive. And it looks a lot nicer, I think. The signals are very separate from the rail supports. Okay, right, let's start bringing stuff in and start doing some proper testing of it. Proper testing. I mean, if I was smart, I would have maybe just tested it in editor mode with infinity chests, but that's boring. We'll do it in live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Okay. Yikes. Right. So we got a bunch of trains now. Named all these stations. I'm just going to go with the standard, the product to an assembly machine naming convention, and you know, these ones are all called scrap to the products. And so then these will be the product to an assembly machine. Because obviously the idea will be that we'll have like maybe 3 or 4 stations that need processing units, and the trains will just go where they're needed. Let me talk about my train loading. They're 1-4 trains. So that's 1 train and 4 cargo wagons. You could go full belts and braces with this and add like a constant combinator that also, you know, counts, that you set to be like what kind of wagon is this train stop going to be served by? Like 1 locomotive, 4 wagons. But I haven't done that because they're probably all just going to be 1-4 trains, maybe, except for the Holmium, maybe. Anyway, this is just a simple selector combinator that works out the stack size of the item that this station requests. That is then fed to an arithmetic combinator which times that number by 160. 160 of course being 4 times 40, that's what this would be for. If you were not sure what size trains you were using, you could then use another arithmetic combinator to times this cargo wagon number by 40 to arrive at this, but I'm just going to put 160 in them. So this tells us that 1 train full of ice will be 8,000, 1 train full of holmium will be 8,000, 1 train full of stone will be 8,000, 1 train full of batteries is 32,000, gear wheels is 16,000, you know. So that's helpful for that. So that tells us what 1 train load will be, and that's T, what I've decided to call T. The second set of combinators turns the count of the item into a generic output of C for cargo, and then this one just compares. So is the amount of cargo in the system less than a train's worth of cargo? If it is, then we can send a signal to the train station, the train stop, to make the train limit 1, and if not, the train limit will be 0. So if we take a whole bunch of this holmium out, then suddenly, oh, we've only got 5,800 cargo, but a train can bring 8,000 cargo. So output at L of 1, that sets the train limit to 1. The train makes its way over here. I'm sure this is not new information to anybody, but still. This will future-proof it. I'm just plowing through levels of mining productivity, by the way, in the background. Don't worry about it. Okay, so then all of this goes on its own little bus. The blue circuits get trashed, get turned into green circuits and red circuits. The red circuits move on and get trashed and turn into more green circuits, copper and iron and plastic. The green circuits are prioritized to the bus, but then any overflow goes back into this scrap system. The plastic goes off onto the bus. The copper and the iron goes to be scrapped again, because we need copper plates and we need iron plates. We bring in gear wheels to be turned into iron plates should we not have enough iron plates from this. I haven't run the numbers on this. It might be that this is enough, but I don't actually know. And then that's all of our ingredients on the bus for electromagnetic science. So if we open editor mode, and this is what I did, we open editor mode and we get some infinity chests and probably some bulk inserters, to be fair. Stack inserters, sorry. They used to be, green ones used to be called stack inserters, alright, and now they're called bulk inserters, and I'm an old man, so I haven't quite acclimatized to that change yet. Almost a year later. And the other thing we will definitely need is more power. But we will do that like this. So then this is how I tested this in the age-old fashion. So we don't have enough power. For sure this is not enough accumulators to run this. But if we put the electric energy interface in, then we can just leave this running and see what breaks, if anything. Where the issues may arise. So for example here you can already see that copper cable sometimes backs up, which causes an issue with plastic. So if we've got too much copper but not enough plastic, the whole system stalls. So we bring the iron around, so the iron is already on this belt, so if we don't need more iron plates from gear wheels, then these will just stand here doing nothing, which is what we want. Loads of holmium solution, and if we open the chart, if we open the graph, elec 1 hour 10 minutes. Oh, look at this, look at this, it's working. Anakin Skywalker voice, it's working. How much power does it use? Good question. Yeah, quite a lot. Almost a gigawatt. That's definitely a concern, because I'm pretty sure if we fill this entire island with accumulators, that still won't be enough power. But, alright, fine, whatever. Cross that bridge when we come to it. We're out of copper. We're out of copper, that's right. This needs a small tweak to only trash the copper under certain situations, not always trash the copper, because now we've got the opposite problem. We've got the plastic is backed up, that's backing up the scrap, so now we're not getting fresh copper into the system. But that's okay, that's a very easy fix. We'll just put a circuit condition on the belt that says only scrap copper if something or other. So pretty productive. I know I summed up here in what is a 28-minute video currently. This is literally about 10 hours of work, right? Like the trains, the grid sections, the scrap. I have to tear this down. I haven't even worked out where it's going to go into a rocket or anything yet, but that's the benefit of this format, right? That's the benefit of the broadcasts format. Here I'm talking like I've discovered editing. I'm the person who discovered editing. So yeah, just don't. This was work. This was actual real life work. Don't be discouraged that it looks like I've sort of busted this out, because you know, like I did it. A lot of pain went into this. I'm just happy that this design kind of worked first time, really, more than anything. All right, let's skip ahead a bit, get some stuff sorted. I filled the entire island with accumulators, thinking that eventually it would be enough, and it's still not enough. So it's gonna have to do, basically, until we just get fusion power sorted. And the only respite we'll have is that we won't just be using all of this science per minute. You know, once this train is full and these chests are full, it should sort of even out, right? Things will become backed up. Scrap processing, yeah, I'm doing a few levels of scrap processing, and not that I've got the, I'm tearing the old base down. I haven't plugged this in yet. We're going off scrap. We're going off of electromagnetic science that was already in the system. So these chests will eventually be full. This cargo wagon will eventually be full. This will all back up. I added purple lights, obviously. We're going to add coloured lights to all of the systems, just because it looks nice, right? Did I do that here? No, I didn't do that there. We will do it, don't worry, we'll sort it out. We'll do that. It looks good, doesn't it? It looks really nice. Yeah, this is the only change, I believe. Just only scrap copper when it's more than 250, which... that number may need a tweak, but it's working fine. Oh, and I take plastic off the bus like this rather than use a splitter just because... I can then cycle it back around. It stops this belt from being completely... blocked up, at least keeps it cycling somewhat. How do I think this little experiment is going? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I've put in the work now. Now that I've got the scrap hub up and running. Obviously the issue with this is that if I need more holmium, then I need to plug more, I need to get more scrap. And this can't really process more scrap. It can process a lot of scrap, and it will, in theory, give me 4.8 holmium or a second, and this is needing 10 well, I say that it needs 10 a second, but it's vastly overproducing. What is it actually using? This isn't going to be a fair test because we keep running out of power. Yeah, it's not fair to do. It's not fair to do it like this. Plus, it's all of Fulgora as well, which. Oh, I don't know. I really wanted to try this, but it seems like it might just be better to just say, if you need these things, only keep these things. So bring this scrap to here, only keep these things, and then make this. And then somewhere else, do something else, you know? So wherever you're going to do your quality upcycling like this, then just decide what you're going to keep. So here we scrap everything, just keep blue, red, and green circuits. We only get green circuits if we scrap blue and red circuits anyway. So yeah, if we decide we need more holmium, then what? We duplicate this somewhere? I mean, it's not the worst idea. We'll have foundations eventually. Eventually we'll have foundations. We duplicate all of this. And the scrap bit of it as well, just not the mall bit of it, I guess, just the scrap bit of it. Yeah, we won't need that many foundations to get this in here, probably. All there. So then that will double and then triple the amount of holmium ore we're getting, but then that will also double and triple the amount of iron gear wheels we're getting, which we won't need. But then if we're going to scrap them somewhere else anyway, if we're going to say only keep holmium ore, then we may as well do it like this. I know it's very heavy on initial space usage, but the scrap is not backing up. You know, like this has been running. Oh, this is backing up. Why is this backing up? What is this full of? Concrete. Yeah, this needs to be. I need to change this to, instead of then going into the system, just have its own little scrap recycling thing here. So rather than doing this, just feed the scrap back into a recycler. Just yeah, so the concrete comes out and just goes straight back into the assembler and makes even more. Shouldn't go into the system. It's not the hazard concrete's fault. The hazard concrete only takes 0.25 seconds to scrap. It's then the concrete that goes back into the system. You know? Which then takes not much longer, but longer, but then it's the bricks, right? You get the bricks out of that, and then it's just, you know. So, We'll leave it. We'll leave it. Obviously, I've done all this work now, and it does work. Let me just plug the rockets in and stuff, and wait for this to be cleared down, and we'll see. We'll do a final post-mortem on this little experiment. Okay, it's stabilized. It's stabilized. We use a lot of power. And even like just ambient power from beacons is running the accumulators down, but it's fine, it's fine. So this is full now. This train stop comes all the way down here. The rockets haven't moved. So then this just unloads. I did a little rocket fuel section here because obviously we don't want to bring in rocket parts from Fulgora because we can very easily make rocket fuel and processing units and low density structures here. So this will launch a whole bunch of rockets. I also very quickly and dirtily, despite me saying last time I wanted to minimize the use of logistics robots, this section is fine by me. This makes so much holmium plate. 12 a second. And it uses so little holmium ore that I don't really mind using logistics robots for the stone and the holmium ore here. And we need this obviously because the Aquilo system is entirely dependent on holmium. So we do need a supply of holmium plate going somewhere. But this is just so that we don't have a complete meltdown of the system, right? This is just so that the Aquilo system doesn't shut down entirely. Because we do want to keep that running. But we'll do something else with this eventually. You know, now that we've got a train load full of holmium, we can just go and take all of this. Like, if we put exactly this on an island somewhere and just brought in stone, holmium and ice, it would only need refilling once every hour with holmium ore. This would use 3.4 wagons of holmium ore every hour. So, do we get that much holmium ore every hour now that we've done a few levels of scrap recycling? Yes, actually, we get 8.64 an hour. So, cool. I think it's going to be good. I think the scalability of this will really shine, you know. When we go over here, like for example, and we build on this island and we use this island to do something else, electromagnetic plants or quality upcycling, you know, once this eventually outstays its welcome. I did put some legendary beacons in. I'm just farming accumulators here, just for fun and profit. Because there's so many accumulators on this island. How many accumulators, you may ask? Good question. 9,500. So just a few. And I'm doing the same with the scrap voiding as well. So I'm only outputting 16 of a thing at a time onto the belt, just so that the belts aren't full of. If you don't have these, then the belts become full of half stacks of items, and it takes up a lot more space on the belt than it needs. Yeah, concrete recycling is now solved if you do it like this. Iron gear wheel recycling is solved if you do it like this. The scrap is flowing. The scrap must flow. June. So I think this is pretty okay. This is pretty okay as far as proof of concepts go. If you can call this 10-hour project a proof of concept. You know. The real issue will be when we want to make this 5,000, 10,000 signs per minute. Whether a system like this will even keep up. Whether a train system like this is even worth the effort. But we shall see. We can add foundations, right? We can add foundations and make this station double wide and merge these belts and unload twice as much scrap at once and make these legendary recyclers so that these go super fast, because it's not like the belts are full, is it? Currently. I mean, they're kind of full. But we can just add a third belt and God knows what else. God knows what else will happen. It's fine. Okay. So yeah, the only change to the blueprint book are just these two sections here. Did anything else happen? No. Did I have to go all the way to Gleber to build this heating tower and sort the whole system out because I've got full of seeds? No, no I didn't. How dare you? How dare you even imply that? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment. And if you want to see more Factorio, be sure to subscribe. Silksong is out tomorrow for me, today for you. Silksong will in fact already be out when this video comes out, ensuring that nobody will watch it. I cannot promise a consistent Factorio upload schedule if Silksong consumes my life in the way that many are saying it might, you know. Maybe it won't. Maybe it's just 20 hours, boom, done, you know, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. It will still be brilliant. But I don't intend on, like, streaming it or making videos for it or anything. I'm just gonna play it. I'm just gonna turn the lights off, put my headphones on, and, you know, all over this thing. And so on. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. Have a good one. Enjoy Silksong for me in the future. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.